Welcome everybody to Court B, Lee Westwood Sports Centre, WFA Optegra Premiership. We're about to see Teesside versus Norwich City. Nick Woodward speaking. I'm delighted to be joined by Adam McAvoy, the England manager. Hello Adam.
Hi Nick. Nice to be here.
Yes.
Good to be to courtside for once rather than up top.
So we got new look Norwich in a way. Some international players. And Teesside team kind of establishing the setup in the last little quick play. I'll just do a run up through the teams. So Coleman in goal for Norwich facing us, Donica at the back, George on the left and Barnard on the right. There's a debate there about whether that was a goal or not.
It looks okay from this end, from this angle. Yep.
Speaking with the ref's experience, are you unburdened with refereeing now?
Indeed.
In your new role?
Indeed I am, with the many other roles and responsibilities that are in place now. Officiating is at the National League anyway, still supporting the Regional League in the South East.
Yeah.
It is one additional role that is not now on my job list.
And the Teesside team, Britton, Reeve just on the ball there, Common on the right and Baxter on the left. With the bench, Tinkler and Pearson. And I can't see the Norwich bench. Murgatroyd.
Jake Edwards as well, from the looks of that.
Yeah. Jake must be charging his chair, otherwise he wouldn't be sitting over there. Now form-wise, just going to have a quick look at the table.
Lovely.
So we got Teesside on third, lost only one, 8 points behind West Brom with a goal in hand, a game in hand, and Norwich unfortunately propping up the table in 12th, so, and quite a heavy kind of goals conceded average. So on paper this should be a shoe-in for Teesside, but we'll see what happens.
Great work from Reeve in the corner here to then be able to release the pressure and set the attack.
How many England squad players have we got on the pitch here?
Senior squad players at present, Tyler Reeve and Ed Common, Greg Baxter in the development squad at present as well. We've also got young Henry Barnard, who's part of the talent pathway as well.
Right. And the talent pathway, is that at regional level or is it national level? I can't quite remember how.
Yeah, so currently Henry currently involved in the pathway, the regional level in the south. He's actually also attending an event this week at St George's Park, where we've got a selection of players from all three regions coming together for a day of activity, just to support and have a look at how they're progressing, with a longer term aim of supporting their progression through to the next level of the pathway at National Emerging Talent Programme level.
Fantastic. That must be an enjoyable part of the job, being able to kind of encourage relatively junior players. I'm sure Henry's exact age, but he's not been in the game long.
Personally, it's been fantastic because that's where I started out within the talent programme, coaching at the regional level, and then obviously progressed to the national level and development squad. And I've seen obviously a number of players who've progressed through that pathway, of which Tyler and Greg are two great examples of that. So to have youngsters coming through like Henry and many others, it's great to know that the future of the game and the players that we have here is only going to get better.
Donica on the ball for Norwich is an Irish international. As an England manager, how do you feel about the, I'll say sudden influx of foreign players? Must be exciting.
I think it shows the strength of the level of the game that we have here. Certainly at the Premiership level, obviously we've got players playing at the Championship as well. So I think it's a real credit to what we have here as a competition. And it's also going to benefit them as individual players, which hopefully then they can take back to their nations and to their teammates as well, and their respective younger players coming through their pathway and program, so that ultimately what we want is better players across the board, regardless, to make the game even better of a spectacle than what it is now.
Up to a point, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, the point at which they're beating England, they can go back to their own leagues. Very firmly, I'm allowed to be unbiased for England.
Absolutely. At this venue, in this location,
Yeah.
Why not?
Also, I've noticed, I've been to a few of the men's team internationals at Wembley, and the Chase banking show reel that they do, Chase being the banking partner for the FA or the men's teams. Thank you, Alex. Sorry, we've got to start the clock. They have power football as part of that show reel. They're kind of shown alongside all of the other football disciplines, which I think is fantastic.
Fantastic.
I've never seen that a while ago.
The FA, and full credit to them, have made a real step up in terms of their highlighting that the para pathway, certainly at the elite levels, across the different squads, to showcase the different impairments and the athletes within them. So that's great to know that that's another avenue for highlighting it and showing the game, especially if you've got 90,000 people seeing it as well.
Talking elite players, probably one of the best ever to play for England, Ed Common.
An absolute joy to watch and work with, and just a wizard. The talent, fantastic.
There we go. Did we set that up? It's the opposite of the commentator's curse, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic play there. Shows how accurate he can pass the ball. Again, the drills that have practiced as a team. So 1-0 to Teesside.
Just a great example. Opening ball from Tyler across. Just the right amount of pace, good accuracy, just to tee it up for Ed to play it across to Greg, and obviously Greg then has to then still finish at the back post. But great examples of the just sheer passing quality that the players possess, and Ed's ability to strike the ball so cleanly and purely is, well, from working with him for the last 6 months, it's been absolutely fantastic to watch that.
Now, England level, do you do much skill work, or it's assumed that the players at that level, they're all coming with their individual skills and it's about their patterns of play?
I'm always a fan of trying to do some technical work, because I think just getting used to, you've come to camp and just ball striking and just getting comfortable and getting into that rhythm is something that we always do as part of when we have our first session of camp. Then we'll do something for at least a period of that first activity with a lot of ball striking, and just to almost act as a loosener and a warm up, not only to get physically warm, mentally warm. And it's just always nice to see that the boys currently at present just striking the ball really cleanly and crisply, and use that as a starting point to really build on for the rest of the camp.
Yeah. So Norwich not really managing to put anything together yet. Just again, fantastic play.
They make it look relatively simple and easy, don't they, with that triangle and just the movement of the ball from central players to wide, and to be able to play backwards or across.
And it's the speed with which they pick the pace up on the ball when they win it back, isn't it?
Absolutely. Recognising that actually that's when the time to break. If Norwich are slightly out of position or a little bit disorganised, and if they can go nice and quickly, they can get into Norwich's final third very, very quickly.
what could Norwich do there?
I think realistically you would like Mike as a goalkeeper to anticipate that a little bit more, knowing that certainly the way that Tyler's facing, he's only going to be able to sweep it.
But Greg was threatening
his
him
left.
too, wasn't he?
As a goalkeeper, obviously you can move behind the line, so you'd really want that initial movement to just be nice and sharp, to be able to try and see if you can get a block on that. I think you look back at that and think that was quite an easy goal. Both goals, well, certainly the first couple of goals, the first goal and that one now have been really easy and arguably could be defended better.
So 2-0 to Teesside. All of the play with them. I think we've had a sub. Have we? Yep, Greg off, Tinkler on. Baxter off, Tinkler on.
So Mitch Tinkler, another player in the talent programme as well. Currently in the regional programme within the northern setup, and will also be at St George's Park later this week as part of the event where we have the players from across the regions together.
Are there any senior squad players come down into the pathways to pass on their experience? Or?
It's not something that we've looked at yet, but I definitely think that certainly in terms of that inspirational or maybe mentoring piece that could be looked at, definitely just to be able to, encourage and inspire our younger players.
So, funny thing, I've had the opportunity to travel with the England team a couple of times, and oh, what a touch from Ed.
Absolutely fantastic.
There's something very different and actually quite challenging about travelling with the team, isn't there? Being away for a tournament and other things. And that itself is something to learn about.
The logistics of major travel, even something as relatively easy, for want of a better word, for a home nations competition, so travelling up to Scotland, the amount of work that goes into something like that, let alone then the travel for the Euro, so working toward putting plans in place for the squad to go to Italy in September is something that's worked on over many months.
I've only got 3-0, the scoreboard says 4. We missed a goal. Well, we'll call it 3 and we'll see what happens. So a long way back for Norwich now. 3-0 early. In this first half, 7 minutes still remaining. They look like they're finding the rhythm Teesside, don't they?
Very much so. I think it's prompted a change of goalkeeper as well, with Mike Coleman coming off for Hannah Murgatroyd.
Rare miscue from Ed Coleman.
I'm always so impressed by Tyler Reeves' ability to strike the ball so crisply. Always a joy to watch.
Pretty sure Tyler was one of the first goals of the season. Crisp strike. Probably it would have been after a passing move. If not, he was definitely in the shortlist.
Chair control is something else as well. It's a joy to behold. There's been times in previous seasons where I've been on the sideline and I've just watched him snake back and strike a ball, and I've just been dumbfounded by the ability and the decision to make at that time. And Tyler's dad Darren regularly brings that up as an example of where he's just looked at me and laughed because my face has just dropped at the decision and how he's executed it so well.
Did you see on streaming the goal Ed scored about against Aspire earlier on in the season?
Certainly did.
Unbelievable, wasn't it?
The touch from the back wheel and then to play that there and then.
Is that a penalty? Was that just on the edge of the box? I think that's twice now. An inch or two. I don't think it's deliberate choosing where to create the foul, but twice now, an inch or more closer to goal, then it would have been penalty. But they scored from the last one of these. See what happens this time. Tyler through to Tinkler, doesn't quite get past Donoghue Murgatroyd. Donoghue now bringing the ball out. And Ed goes for goal, Murgatroyd saves. It's tricky, isn't it, there? Norwich just taking a second or two longer than...
It was a nice front bumper across from Johan George, and you just really wanted them to try and build a couple of passes then, so potentially it could, from Henry, could go back to the middle.
As soon as you hold the ball up, Teesside are on you.
Absolutely. I think Tom Donoghue would have been ready to receive that and would have been able to have played a pass. Decision
They're
of
discussing
goal.
a possible foul on the
Foul,
keeper.
indeed. Probably discussing who the contact came from. Did it come from Hannah onto Tyler or vice versa?
Well, that was a long time to give a goal. One thing I hope we never do in power chair football is VAR. Which is perhaps slightly ironic from one of the people who's involved in putting the streaming in, but you just feel it would slow things down too much, wouldn't you?
I hear of other countries trialling a version of.
Really? Oof.
Over in Denmark, I've heard of the use of their streaming to support decision making. I think in some instances with the goals that Norwich have conceded so far, certainly with a couple of them being dribbled over the line, there's just that little lacking of physicality almost from the defensive, from the goalkeeper and defensive pairing to try and really block the ball out and stop them from making progress. It just seems a little too easy to get round the back or go through the defensive pair. Lovely.
That's just lovely play.
These are great examples for up-and-coming teams, regional league, championship teams to really learn from established teams that can pass the ball around just in that simple triangle shape, and just see if they can work on that consistency on the training pitch, because that then puts them in a really good position if they can incorporate that into their game, regardless of the level. If they can look at working on that, then that really just opens up so many more attacking opportunities and shooting and goal scoring opportunities for them. Teesside are a great example of that, alongside some of the other top teams that we have in this division.
They always have been Teesside, haven't they? Even when they're in the championship, they were a triangle playing team. And I mean, Tyler's developed,
Great
bringing
timing
Ed
from
into
Tyler
the team.
Reid there.
Tinkler's come in as well. It's just notched them up. I mean, they're challenging for the title.
As a collective, they seem to have raised the level of each other.
Yeah.
And I know they're putting in a lot of work. I know they train twice a week as well.
That's a commitment.
Absolutely. So I know that they're using, one of their sessions to work on their ball striking and that moving ball piece, and then they're using one of their training sessions to work on their set piece game as well. And we've seen that a lot from Teesside, certainly at the start of the season, with some of the ingenuity and originality in some of their corners and set piece work. It's been really good to see.
So last minute of the first half. Teesside well ahead. There's no way back for Norwich, as they've not created a chance yet. Just not quite quick enough, not moving the ball fast enough. themselves under pressure there, didn't they? Common, lovely ball to Tinkler. Again, they keep it alive, don't they? Teesside kept it alive.
And a great example there of Ed just allowing that ball just to move ever so slightly further past his chair,
Yeah.
to then strike it that half a second later to change the angle to then play it to Mitch on that side. It's a great example of the decision making and his chair control and his ability to be able to offer that angle up for him.
Out for a kick in, time given. So comprehensive so far for Teesside. So we'll take a short break there and move back to the second half. back to Court B, Lee Westwood Sports Centre, WFA Optegra Premiership. Teesside well in control against Norwich. Teesside keeping themselves in contention from the Premiership title, and this match will take them within 5 points of West Brom. I think it'll take them up second. Just double check. Yep, if they win this, it'll take them above Leeds Chariots on points, and they will still have a game in hand. They'll be on the same number of games as West Brom. So a change for the lineup for Teesside: Common off, Reeve off, Baxter back on, and Pearson on for the first time. Ooh. Now I know Tinkler was moving away there. That looked pretty close to potentially a 2-on-1. Or would you give that? They were very close, weren't they, to create that move?
I think if the referee's interpreting it as trying to avoid that,
right,
and trying to almost allow the game to flow type thing,
yeah,
but very much obviously in their interpretation at the time.
Yeah.
Certainly think if you're Norwich,
Yeah,
you definitely want it given, don't you? Anywhere in your penalty area,
yeah,
in that final third.
Oh, lovely touch by Barnard. No one to get it across to, though. Didn't quite soften it enough, did it?
No,
Did
but
it
that's
all run away
positive
from
though
it?
from Norwich.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah.
You want them to try and see if they can, you know, the coach from half-time could have been saying,
Yeah,
can we really try and work on getting into that final third a little bit more? If we can see if we can build 2-3 pass combinations, that could be the challenge for them to really try and see if they can focus on something for this next 20 minutes.
and when George hit it out of defence, I thought it was just kind of route one clearance, but he was clearly looking for Barnard, wasn't he? And then they put the move together. Well intercepted from Baxter. Pressure on the goal.
Some nice efforts there from the Teesside trio trying to see if they could pop the ball around. Donaher in the middle there.
So the Norwich lineup unchanged as they went off, but Murgatroyd in goal, Donaher in the middle, George on the right, and Barnard on the left. They're a bit more free-flowing this half, Norwich. By the same token, that's opening up a bit of space that Teesside could exploit.
I certainly think they've just got to go for it, haven't they, in terms of that positive outlook and that mindset for the next 20. And you go.
I'm not sure if the streaming would have picked up the look on Greg Baxter's face there. He was very happy with that little dummy, wasn't he? And why not?
Absolutely. Always a smart from Greg when those types of instances can happen. He can let the ball slide and travel.
So Tinkler swinging in on Donaher there, so free kick to Norwich. Donaher looking for Barnard, doesn't quite find him.
Good. Can we build?
Oh, what a strike from Tinkler. I thought Murgatroyd would make it though.
Great work from Baxter over in the corner to play that back, and Tinkler's set to be able to strike the ball. It's unfortunate really for Norwich because they were trying to do the right thing in terms of from Barnard trying to play it back to Donaher to try and see if they could look to go.
Yeah.
But unfortunately that pass just wasn't quite accurate enough, which then obviously gives the ball away in a dangerous area. It's a nice mindset to have, but it's just that
There was so
execution
little
piece.
in it, wasn't there? The miss. Hard to call it a mistake. Teesside too sharp. And Greg demonstrating what you were on about earlier, just letting the ball run past. So when he did hit it, he was able to put more momentum on it. Pearson in the same position.
I think in instances like that, though, you've got to be, as a coach, continue to praise the idea and the decision making from Barnard there.
Yeah.
The execution obviously not there, but in terms of trying to make the right decision as a coach, I'll be full of praise for that on the sideline to say keep going, that's the right thing to do.
And I'm not sure if you managed to see the championship last weekend. Bournemouth were getting beaten very heavily, and yet the individual skills, the moves they were trying to pull off, the formation they were trying to play, all were commendable, but unfortunately just left them slightly fragile in defence, and the opposition were taking them apart. Great move across from Donna there to rescue that. Good interception by George for Norwich. Tinkler very quickly stripped the ball away from him.
Done well to recover there from that initial ball from Pearson, maybe not quite as accurate as you'd have wanted.
Tinkler having a go at goal, lets it go out for a corner.
Nice decision.
Donoghue driving forward, intercepted by Baxter for Teesside, taking the ball off him. Can he pick it up? Yeah. Tinkler with a shot. Oh! Just past the post, and Pearson not able to rescue it.
Did very well to find the gap there, Mitch Tinkler. There you go. So that's nice, positive play from Norwich. Although they haven't been able to get out, and they're still battling now in this final. They've actually, from the goal kick, they tried to create and combine a little bit there, which was nice to see.
Sure. Just got a new... No, it's gone. Had to rejig various bits of the kit this weekend. Firstly, the wired internet, which NTU installed for us a couple of years ago, isn't working and hasn't done for 2 weeks. And commentary kit, we just had to tweak accordingly. But we're here with the third game of the morning. Teesside easily in control of this match. Norwich had a difficult first half. They've put together a few more moves, but still not quite threatened the goal. Teesside's goal. Britain very much a spectator in the Teesside goal.
So Donoghue's done really well to move out onto this left-hand side and then played the ball back into the middle. And Barnard's just come in and he's probably cut off Johan George there, because you want Johan from that central position to come onto that ball to potentially then play it across to Henry on that far side to really then travel into the final third. Instead, they then come together and they've then actually then really shut off their passing options.
I think something you see with the more experienced players are just able to curb that enthusiasm.
I think for the most part, though, for this, now that we're halfway through this second half, Norwich can be far happier with how they played in this opening half of the second period of the game.
Tinkler with the ball for Teesside. Not quite sure what happened there. He's got the ball back. Donoghue keeping the ball away from Baxter, but Tinkler's intercepted. Tinkler very sharp there, wins the ball back. Kick into Teesside. Ball to Pearson, Pearson across to Baxter.
Lovely.
Baxter with a front bumper. Oh, great set piece move there. Murgatroyd saw it coming and ball just gone wide.
A couple of examples just prior to that possession by Teesside then of something that really want to try and encourage players to do, certainly the wide players, is to play in reverse as much as possible. Rather than turning and driving away from the ball, pulling away in reverse just opens up the fact that you'll be able to see everything still.
Yeah.
As soon as you turn and you drive away, you can't see over your shoulder. You just lose that ability to have any potential impact on the game. Or certainly not anywhere near as much as if you stay in reverse.
Now, I would have thought wing in reverse was almost a given these days. Still only elite level of doing it consistently.
I certainly think there's a lot more work to do in terms of reinforcing that message lower down.
Right.
The competition pathway that we have. I'm certainly within the talent program as well around some of the capabilities that the FA touch on for players. That movement and that element of moving in reverse is something that I think, because players in general in their day-to-day life, they're so used to just always driving forwards, that ability and that thinking of moving backwards in reverse maybe isn't quite there. So it's definitely something that, and we tend to see it a lot more in the Premiership as well. Players will be in reverse for longer, less so in the Championship. We need to try and change that
Common,
as well.
Tinkler, Haig. Sorry, I've been saying Britain. It's Haig. Sorry about that. So we've had a switch up for Teesside. Pearson's in goal, Haig out now. Tinkler on the right, and then Commons on. Baxter's off. And Edwards on for Norwich, and Coleman on for Norwich. So Donoghue and Barnard back on the bench. So Norwich line up, Murgatroyd, Coleman in the middle, Edwards on the right, and George on the left.
Great to see Al Hayat on the pitch in the wide areas.
Quite able to put the passes together there, Norwich, so kick in to Teesside. Common on the ball. Common to Tinkler. Tinkler holds it up. Ooh. Yeah, they got compressed there, Norwich, didn't they? And 2-on-1 caused. Chance for an indirect kick to Teesside. They're going for a boom boom. No.
No.
Oh. I think Ed Common, they're trying to set it up. Looked like they were going to come across to Haig, and went for the near post, just missed it, hit the post. ball's gone out for a kick-in, came off the post for a kick-in.
So it's another good example of the creativity from Teesside, because the way that they've come together, it's looked like they've gone to play for the boom boom, but then that quick movement away and then a quick pass from Tinkler to Common then obviously sets up the strike. But if certainly the defending pair in the box aren't necessarily concentrating as much as they should be, then, or they haven't a move to adjust, then that could create that little chance for the ball to sneak in, as it almost did there before it struck the post.
Tinkler and Coleman locked together there across the pitch. Coleman comes off the better. Can he get it to Edwards? Coleman stepped up, goes round him. Lovely dribbling play there from Ed Coleman. Finds Tinkler. Tinkler goes for a shot. Coleman sees it out.
Maybe a better option to go back to Coleman there.
Hagoff, Revon. So Pearson, Common, Tinkler and Reeve for Teesside. Found the gap. Oh,
beautiful.
It's the pace there that gets the goal, isn't it?
And the quality to be able to play the ball through what was a very small gap, but also a great finish by Tyler Reeve at the back post there. It's a tough Saturday, isn't it, as a start for Norwich, opening up against Aspire and then their second game against Teesside.
I think it's a while since I've seen a match where I've oohed and ahed so much. Oh, unlucky there, Teesside. Right, with last few minutes. George trying to help Norwich break out from the stranglehold Teesside have got on them. They've not really managed to put it back together since that first goal in the next wave from Teesside, have they?
Maybe I spoke a little bit too soon when I praised the opening 10 from Norwich in this half, and then I think whether it's a little bit of the changes or a bit of the mental fatigue of the game.
It was a bit like the first half though. It took a while for Teesside to get it together, didn't it?
And then obviously the Teesside rotations as well, and effectively finishing with three really strong players now on the pitch that can move the ball around so well. Just delicate examples. Two great contrasts there. You've got a really delicate touch from Ed, just guiding it off the front bumper, and then you've got the opposite of the 360 from Tyler, but both executing and getting good contact on the ball.
Murgatroyd for Norwich. That's George. George looking for Edwards. Edwards.
It's a great ball.
Trying to find George, but intercepted by Tinkler for Teesside.
So again, as a coach now, obviously trying to encourage the team, can we try and see if we can get a shot on target here?
Coleman for Norwich, finds Edwards, across to George. George doesn't get the contact needed. Goal kick.
Big sighs of relief there from lead on court A with 2 minutes to go, of just snuck in a second against Spinner Rockets.
So earlier I was saying this would take Teesside above Leeds. Leeds now will stay above Teesside with the result as it is on court A. But Teesside done all they could, which was win this game. Ball goes beyond Tinkler, out for a goal kick. Common didn't quite get it. Tinkler in with a shot. What's been given there? 3 in the box. Oh, Coleman must have just come back too far. Just an inch of the chair in the box and that's it, is it?
It could be even less than that. It could be millimetres of a chair.
So it's not the whole of the chair, it's just across the line.
As soon as that's touching that box, If you've got an eagle-eyed referee or assistants, then that is going to get called, pending obviously the result. You wouldn't want them to necessarily blow if you then scored within a second, because you'd be quite disappointed. You really want Murgatroyd to make a great movement across as quickly as you can.
Well
There
defended,
we go, that's better.
Norwich. Common back on the ball, takes it to the byline. Fabulous cross to Reeve, back. Oh wow!
There you go, fantastic.
I mean, there was just a ball width there between the two bumpers, Coleman and Murgatroyd, and Common still found it.
Initially better defending from the free kick from Murgatroyd in comparison to the very similar situation in the first half, where arguably Mike Coleman needed to move across a little bit quicker, but obviously in the resulting phase, some great work and some great passing and a wonderful finish by Coleman yet again.
Well, there we are at full time, very comprehensive for Teesside. I'm going to put the league table up, and I think as things stand it should show. Yeah, Leeds staying in second and Teesside in third. Stretching away from Newcastle, though they have a game in hand. And spectacularly unusually, Aspire holding up the pack on fifth. Who'd have thought that at the beginning of the season? Right, so we shall leave it here. Thank you very much for joining me, Adam.
Pleasure, Nick. Thank you very much.
Have a good weekend.
You too, sir.